Okay, folks, let's see if we can be a little bit more successful than we were this afternoon. We're only on for 32 minutes, and I felt like I'd gotten hit by a tranquilizer dart. An unexpected nap, and then I only took a nap that was like, I don't know, 30 minutes or something like that. I don't even know. I had some crazy ass freaking dreams, work related dreams. Love those. Anyhow, got our readers, super readers. We did a wash on this guy. I think I don't remember if I did a wash while I was on there or afterwards. I'm not sure, but we did paint up some of this stuff right here in the metallic color, and we are going to do the weathering on it, and we'll still have to do the rockets. I don't want the rockets weathered. I want them to stand out. This thing is extremely drab. Extremely drab. So we're going to try and make that a little bit more, have some kind of excitement. All right, let's put these super readers on and clean them. Jeez, they're dirty. They're dirty from grabbing them by where they're not supposed to be grabbing them by. All right, let's get the weathering colors, which of course is chocolate brown, U.S. field drab. Nope, not green ochre. Iraqi sand. Where are you? That's buff. There it is. Okay. We might as well put it here. We got the whole mess going on at this place. And did we do a good job of washing this off? Okay. Trying to lose these brushes from here. All right, chocolate brown first. And hopefully it's noticeable enough, because this is a very brown out type car. So I made a mistake. This was going to be calling this the Urfman. He's on mobile comms. I got a chuckle when he said that earlier today. I'll be on mobile comms. Oh man, I made a mistake when I called this. This is actually not a Buick Regal. It's a make believe vehicle. It looks a lot like a Buick Regal, but the back is totally make believe. The back of this vehicle is completely just invented. I actually looked it up and it said it's supposed to represent like an Olds 442 or something like that. And I looked at a picture of an Olds 442 and it doesn't look like this. So there's definitely some make believe. Yeah, here's the problem with a brown car. Note to self: if you ever want to have a car that you don't have to clean, that doesn't look dirty, or that looks dirty all the time, just get a brown car. Like I said, I'll be happy with this, or I'll repaint it. It's that simple. I think it will work. It's too early to be all judgy yet, making a decision that didn't turn, not following all the way through. Trust the process. So yeah, we went to the grocery store, and this is what we picked up. Yes, I had to pick something up. This is going to be the blackjack shellac, I think. I picked this up and put it in my cart so many times, and this time I decided to bring it home with me. So I don't know when the hell we'll get around to building that, but Some people buy lottery tickets. I buy cars. All right, that's starting to look better. And this can't look like a total wreck because this is a functioning vehicle in the game. It may not look like it, but it's a functioning vehicle in the game. Now, this is probably not the right vehicle if this is your first Gaslands vehicle to paint this one first, because you might be like disappointed at this point in the stage. You're like, man, this everybody's got a cool vehicle. Why do I got this piece of shit looking one? I said, okay, well, trust the process. Trust the process. All right, we got headlamps here to do. We got tail lamps to do. We got some rockets to do. Probably going to do the rockets in green, just so they stand out a little bit. The warheads will be in red. You have some color on there. This is the part of it that I enjoy now. The drippings. The moist drippings. Okay. So, let's go ahead and do the lamps, and I need something to think. We're going to need Mr. Black here. Did you assume the gender of this paint bottle? No, it told me. It told me what it wanted to be. Oh, look. I was even careful and still got black stuff all over me. Black shite. And let's get some white shite on us now, too. I guess my fingers are too fat. Okay. And what else do we need? We need red. Flat red will do. For the rear. And we got any turn signals? I don't know if we do or not. It's a make-believe vehicle. We'll do a spot of orange. Good? All right. Let's do the rears first. Yeah, so whatever vehicle this is, it's definitely a GM product. Rear-wheel drive GM product. And when you do such little amounts of paint, it dries so quick. And that's exactly what you want. So you can just keep going from one color to the next. Now this is the make believe part right here. The part that I'm painting. No, I haven't found any of these vehicles that look like this. They just decided to put extra stuff on here and pretend that it was a real car. Let's move this a little bit. There you go. Yeah, I needed to get out of the house. I was like, spent too much time at home. On the road, and the girls called me. They were just boarded on their cruise. Why am I not going? I'm not. I wasn't invited. It was a girls only. I got some special deal with 2-for-1 sale of cabins or whatever. So it was like half price, and it was with my daughter's roommate from college, who she gets along really well with, her ex roommate, her first roommate, and and the moms. And it's luckily I wasn't invited because just the workload, I wouldn't have been able to go. Could have tucked and taped. To be one of the girls, I don't know. That's a lot of tucking, a lot of taping. And I'm just talking about the belly. Although there's probably ladies on that cruise right now that have bigger bellies than me. And I'm not talking about in those two cabins. I just mean in general. There's some large people on cruises. They're almost like gamers. So I can, they actually have a gamer cruise. Like really, it's what it is. I mean, just like they have concerts where like Kiss and stuff will go on cruises. Um, and I think it's called Rock the Boat. I don't know if Kiss goes on there, but anyhow. So they have gamer cruises. I don't know what the hell it's called, but I can only imagine what the people on that cruise look like. You know, Nerd Burglar cruise. All right, let's bring this up a little bit. Tucked and taped. I mean, there's men on the cruise. They just, I just didn't get invited to go on that. It's not like it's an all-female cruise. That'd be pretty cool. I mean, it could be. I mean, if you were into Filipino chicks, a cruise would be a great place to go because I swear 75% of the crew are Filipinos. These are some weird headlamps. We're gonna have to paint these in a different method than we normally do. Got like they're not normal. They're like almost like ridges. They're almost like Fruit Loops. You got them Fruit Loop lights? Yeah, they're over there on aisle 5. All right, no, don't put that away, moron. We need it here. Dark tone. But I tell you what, after going to Europe, my interest in going on a cruise is pretty close to nil. I mean, Europe just blows the hell out of a cruise. Because the thing about a cruise is the ship is awesome, and the entertainment on the ship is awesome. Food all the time, whatever. I eat all the time, anyways. But the places that you go on a cruise, you know, I'm done with the islands in the Caribbean. It's kind of the same thing over and over again. There's like been to one, been to all of them. Seen one, seen them all. You know, and it's really liberating being able to go to another country and being able to drink the water. And you can't do that on those islands. Well, you can, but you know, you'll be sorry. You're going to have explosive diarrhea and you don't know when the timer is set. You don't know when the timer is set for. You don't know when the chargers are set to blow. You know what? To Europe, I didn't get sick. Actually, last time I went to Mexico, I didn't get sick either. Okay, now this is looking the part. And this is just a junk car that's like an extra. This is supposed to be from a set of a monster truck. It's supposed to be like, you know, the thing that got crushed by it running over it. Okay, that's enough of this dark tone. Let's get the Three Sisters out here. We can use that water. Soft tone, mid brown, light tone. Of all these, I think, well, I don't have a favorite. Soft tone is probably the one that's the most similar to strong tone. Light tone is the most orange one, but it's also the thickest one. Mid brown is the wateriest, but it's the most red. And then soft tone is none of the above. All right, I think this is thin enough to be able to do that. All right, so this vehicle has a rust problem. No shit. Again, no gas cap. Damn it. I like having the gas cap on there. It tells me what part where we need to do the fuel color drippings. This is touching the back wall somewhere, and it's making like a little tick, tick sound from time to time. Maybe it stopped. I bet it'll start up again. Thank you, man. Well, it's your fault. I'm working on this one. I'm disappointed that they only make this one model because I would love to have a bunch of vehicles like this. I've never seen any of the Mad Max movies. Are they worth watching? I tried watching the first one, but I waited too long to see it. And I can't finish watching Twisted Metal because the daughter's not here. We're watching it together, so which it was it was kind of lame. I mean, the first episode was great, and then it went sideways after that. That may not have made it to England, or maybe it has. Some things make it over, and then some things don't. I don't understand why. So I'm not going to, because this isn't a Regal, a Buick Regal, even though it looks surprisingly a lot like one. I can't call this Regal Pancake. Damn it. There's a good Mad Max video game. First, a little slow, but I like it a lot, and it ramps up. And the third is full on 80s Coke World. Didn't see the new ones. Okay. How many are there? Three? I tried watching the first one, the one that has those ridiculous colored police cars. You know, that looks like they're made out of the old school Lego bricks. You know, blue and yellow and red all together. I'm like, lame. Everybody speaks highly of them, and I don't know if it's just something that they watched, you know, when they were younger. And if they watched it for the first time now, they'd be like, geez, that's horrible. Or I think there's five now. Okay. Yeah, I haven't seen any of the new ones. Who's in that? Hardy? Yeah, I don't know what to make out of Tom Hardy. I don't know how I feel about him. That means I don't dislike him yet. I don't know. He was all right as what was the name of that guy in the Batman in the trilogy? Bane, citizens of Gotham. Is this what you want? I haven't heard him in a long time, but I'd crack up this one guy at work when I would do that. I've only seen it like one time. And it's like this had a very distinct voice, kind of cool, you know. Except he's a little dude. He's a small guy. I know he can kick my ass. I don't care if he can kick my ass. He's still 5'7" or something like that. 5'8". That's a little dude, especially in Britain. Man, I went to London. There's some tall. I guess the Dutch were visiting. There's some tall people in England. There was some tall people in London when I went. I mean, tall. Like a lot of like 6'2", 6'3", you know, people. Like when I feel short, there's some tall mothers around. All right, let's put some shininess back in this thing. All right, let's paint some rockets. So I'm going to paint the whole thing in green, and I don't want to make them too dull. I also don't want them to look like a freaking parrot. So something like this is out. The black is over here. This green doesn't cover worth a damn anyways, which is common to a lot of these greens. So this deep green is actually the one I'm going to use. And it's awfully bright. Well, we're going to cut it with black. And like I said, oh, dear Lord. And like I say, if it doesn't turn out how I like it, I'll just repaint it. I need to do something that's a little bit brighter than olive drab. It's just going to be a little too, the whole thing's already drab. So this is going to be able to do splash damage. So you ram this thing, and there's other cars nearby, they could potentially take damage as well. Because this just got all kinds of bolts and stuff that are just ready to come off. The only one of those car war type movies I've seen is Death Race, the one with Jason Statham. And it's hokey, but it is what it is. That's about as bright as I'm going to go. And even though we're going to paint the nose in red, we'll still kind of give it this undercurrent here of the green. Now we're going to add some white to this. It's going to make it look pale. I know. That's what we want. And I'm actually going to go up, make it a little bit brighter. Just on the fins. And we already have the red out here, so that's handy. Philip Browder, welcome. Philip, where are you from? I know I've asked you. I just forgot. Here we go. You got to have some brightness on here because this damn thing's all rusty and stuff by design. It has to be by design. Tennessee. All right. Oh man, I'm second best state flag. Texas is number one. And I'm not even from Texas. I'm just saying I like the bowling ball of freedom. That's what I call it. I've been to Tennessee. It's nice. I didn't really like the way that some of the stuff was over commercialized, like that whole Pigeon Forge thing. That was kind of embarrassing. But I like Tennessee because it's like it reminded me of what America used to be like. Like in the 1980s, and Tennessee south of here. Yeah, we had some good times in Tennessee. Went up there for New Year's one year. Um, Drove back. Went to go see on New Year's Eve a cover band, an '80s cover band that was really good, and it was near Murfreesboro or something like that. We were staying in Nashville at the time. We'd used our points, and we were staying at the Gaylord, the Opryland, that huge monstrosity. And we're driving back. I was a responsible driver, and I was not intoxicated, but on I-24, there was some crazy shit I saw. I'm like, I'm never driving on New Year's again because I can control me, but I can't control other people. That was, yeah, that was crazy. That was some crazy stuff right there. That's facts. Been here for 45 years. If you get closer to the cities, it gets worse. Out in the mountains is the real people. Yeah. Yeah, I don't live, I mean, there's the cities in Florida are hellholes. Like Jacksonville. I mean, Jacksonville's a hellhole. You know, I mean, I've lived in a city. Well, I don't live in it anymore, but I live right next to it. But I used to live in a city that's up to like 150,000, 130, 150,000 people. That's it. So I go to some place like Tampa, and it's just like, and the one thing that you don't, that's kind of hard to wrap your head around it. I lived in a town small enough that like all the bad part of town is in an area where I don't need to cross. Like I can just kind of avoid it. Like if there's just nothing over there for me, right? But you go to a big city like Jacksonville, and you have like pockets of like really dangerous places next to areas that aren't that dangerous. It's weird to have all that stuff, all over the place. I don't know. I'm not used to it. I'm not a big city person. I don't want to live on a dirt road. I mean, I live in a town now that has, I don't know, 10,000 people in it, probably something like that. But it's one exit up from where I used to live, and it's the town that I've always worked in. I've worked there 32 years at the same place, and it's in this town now instead of the other town. So it's like we moved, but we didn't move. It's kind of hard to describe. So, but I don't live on a dirt. I mean, if you want to live on a dirt road, that's fine. If I'm going to live on a dirt road, I'm not going to be able to. I'm not. I don't want anybody near me. So you'll see lots of people out here in the country, and they got a neighbor like right on top of them. Like, well, what's the point in living in that environment? You know. I mean, I don't necessarily want property, but I don't want to have to check in on neighbor checking in on me every single time that you do anything. I don't want to live in a town where there's nothing to do on Sunday. Like, Go to church or freaking die. Like, no. We need a little bit more than that. Oh, yeah, same. I don't want to be completely cut off out in the boonies. Yeah. No, I've been up in, where was it we went up there one time? Is it North Carolina or is it Tennessee? Right there on the border. We stayed one New Year's. We ended up going to, oh man, what's it called? Has a diamond name. I guess it's North Carolina. But they're all up in there. What's the name of that place? Cashiers? Why did I say that? That wasn't exactly the same place. Cashiers, that's North Carolina. That's all up in that area. But when we went up in that Smoky Mountains, I mean, it's beautiful. It's beautiful. I bet the Memphis side is pretty rough. All states have bad areas. Some bad areas of the state are the whole state. Don't want to live in those states. Oh man. Yeah, I like Tennessee. A little too far away from the salt water for my taste. It's just psychological, but we stayed a couple days in Chattanooga. I'm like, man, what these hippies do following us up here? But we had some fun in Chattanooga. Chattanooga is one of those places when we live in the late '70s in Huntsville, Alabama, we would go frequently too. Okay, let's make this hand grip a little shinier, just so it stands out more. And some shiny spots here on the back bumper. You're near Chattanooga, good place to visit, not to live, in my opinion. Yeah, it's too industrial. I'm not used to seeing places that are like abandoned buildings, and like, well, we'll just leave them up because we don't want to tear them down. I'm like, what the hell, man? Like, fix your stuff up. That happened to yesterday. I went to Ocala. Ocala is the next city down from us, and they had this vintage place, this vintage toy shop that's incredible. But Ocala has a lot of. It took a big toll, first of all, from 2008. It was like booming. 2008, it took a big hit, and then COVID, like it took another big hit. And there's just a lot of like ugly, decrepit stuff. And I don't like seeing that. It kind of it brings you down. At least it brings me down. I say this fucker's done. Let's see if we can zoom in on this thing a little bit better. Of course, it's going to be shiny in places that's not really going to be shiny when we give it a flat coat. And this is a functioning vehicle. This is going to be a legitimate, like, this guy can mow people down. Now the backstory is the actual cab or the roof of this vehicle wasn't crumpled, and until they put the rockets there, and they had to crumple it so that you shoot the rockets over it, because literally there's a clear line of sight specifically made for that. I'm like, okay, well that's handy. And before somebody complains, well, shouldn't there be like black streaks on there? Because we haven't fired a fucking rocket yet, okay? So This guy's done. This has got to be a redneck vehicle. This has just got, you know, that written all over it. The rednecks. And so I don't get into trouble with them. I'm putting rebel flags, but I'm switching the colors. I'm reversing the colors. Doesn't bother me any. It's never bothered me, but I don't want to get dinked on by YouTube by having something that's offensive, you know. Yeah, it'll look better when it gets clear coated, but it's definitely not as vibrant as, say, you know, this. But the whole point is that it needs to be fun to play. It's got got rockets on it. It's got splash. So if it takes damage and it's near other vehicles, the other vehicles have a chance of, you know, having one of the bits on it come and do damage to it. So yeah, good stuff. This guy is sealed. Now, the question is, where to now? It's 6 freaking o'clock, okay? I want to do something else. Now, the normal thing would be use one of these vehicles that's already has a clear coat on it. Okay? That'd be the normal thing to do. That doesn't necessarily mean that's what we're going to do. Why be normal? What was the tagline of that? Was that Hooters? Was it Hooters that did "Why be normal"? Somebody did a "Why be normal" slogan. I think it's time to put the tow truck out here. It's already been clear coated, and it already has a brown wash on it. Okay, I just have no idea what the hell it's going to be armed with. Okay, I know it's going to be a truck. That's it. You know, I know it's going to be a truck. So I know it's going to have freaking guns on it. They told the guys in the model group, said, "Oh man, I don't mind building cars instead of tanks, but I got to put guns on them." They kind of looked at me funny, like I'm a warmonger. Well, I'm a pacifist every day. This is another vehicle to do. Let's pull the ones that are clear coated, that are ready to go. Doesn't look like it's very dirty, but we want light on that. What else do we have? This smiling Joker. Is that a Firebird? Is that what that is? The Camaro. The Camaro is another option. We only have hundreds of vehicles to choose from. So I think what I'm going to do is let's do the tow truck. Let's do the tow truck. All right. So let's get our little notebook out, because we like to design them and then paint them based on that. Who is this? Kevin. Kevin's 24-hour towing. What else does it say on here? Deluxe towing. What's non-deluxe towing? Deluxe towing. No, my wife is a snob about going to nail places. And she says if the nail place says fancy, it's not fancy. Whatever the nail place says, it's not that. You know, Queen's Nails. There's a place in town. It's Queen's Nails. The Queen don't fucking go there, right? Hey, I'll take her word for it. Can't be fancy if it's a sweatshop. put some of these paints away. You're out here running interference. Kevin's Towing. All right, let me get my notebook. And a pencil that I took with me and then left in the car. All right, so this is going to be a truck. Okay, a truck is 15 points, I think. A truck is 15 points. It's 15 points, and it's 3 build slots. So the question is, are we going to be able to get this thing at 27? That's going to be difficult. The only way we're going to be able to do that is not put a targeted weapon, which is pretty easy to do, because we really don't have anywhere to put it on there. And Kevin's Cheap Dragon. I don't know, dragon has a different meaning now. Hey, you want to be dragged or no? I do not want to be dragged. Do not drag me, please. No feather boas or high heels, please. No dragging. This is going to be a truck. Okay, 15 points. Ooh, a trailer. What the hell do you do with a trailer? I actually bought 2 trailers. 1 trailer. I was going to buy a second one, but it was the same. Well, we're not going to get into that right now. We can add that as an after thing. What does this thing... What weapons do I have that would look good on this? Shoved. I don't want to be shoved either. Hey, what are you going to shove in me? Don't ask any questions. Oh, I better be asking questions. This could actually go on the front of it. Here. It actually has no interior, so I didn't bother opening it. It's a Hot Wheels made in China transit wrecker. Does not say what year. It's probably 80s somehow. Some way, somehow. Adding a ram to this thing is easy. Okay, it only costs 4 points, so I'm going to put a ram on it. And it uses up one of the slots. So we're going to have a ram on it. It'll also make it look meaner. And I have a lot of rams to choose from. What is that? What is that cool weapon? What is it called? Not a wrecking ball. It is called grabber arm. Grabber arm. Let's put a grabber arm on it. That's 6. What's that at? That's a 25 points. And I can put like an MG. A ram, a grabber arm, and a regular MG. Yeah, that'll work. Now, I could just leave this as the grabber arm, or actually replace it and put something like this. I actually bought this for a vehicle called the Penny Pincher. Let's remove this if we can. Man, I'll be damned if it doesn't fit in there. But this is actually very rustic. I got it much rustic than I was expecting it to. Let's find an MG Just a regular machine gun. I'd like to use one of these if I can. Something like that. What other choices do I have? I got this one. It's got a magazine on it. It's like a really big AK. It's out of scale. It's got a magazine on it. Yeah, I like that. I don't know where I'm going to put them yet. It's got to be fed. Do I have one that feeds the opposite way? This guy that makes these happens to. He makes like. That's a flamethrower. These weapons are all really high quality. I'm actually pretty impressed with it. There's a 30 cal. Could just put it like this. It's a nice mix from having shit on the top of it. Could just have it like that. Okay. That's not bad. Where is this little pinchy thing? Let's keep that out. Let's start looking at the rams. I got lots of cool ram options. Kevin. Killer Kevin. All right, where is the bag of traits? No. Weapons, no. Laser weapons, no. Let's adjust this a little bit. Rockets, nope. Here's some rams. Here's more rams. These are for big rigs, so nope. This is odds and bits. Here's more rams. I have a lot of them. None of those. These are a possibility. This is a possibility too, but it looks, honestly, it looks a little too malignant. And that's not bad either. All right, let's take a look and see from these choices what we have. We can remove these. This is a new one. I am not familiar with these at all. Take a look at these. Oh, this is like the one on the front of Methcalade, or the Bully Goat. Now, too aggressive for this guy. Too basic. This isn't bad. That's not bad right there. Does this fit? Freaking perfectly. Okay. I think this one's winning. It's not super aggressive looking, but this is too mean. This looks almost demonic. You're like, out of the way. That one's not appropriate. Doesn't look. No. I like this one. I like this. And it fits just like that. It's got a ledge for it to hold on to. I like it. Okay, that's what we're going to go with. I mean, I like all the Rams. The question is, it like this vehicle does not look very aggressive. It looks, so let's not, put something that looks demonic on it. All right. So the 30 cal is going to go up here. And this is going to go up here. And can you even see the grill underneath it? Yeah, I'm going to have to paint this stuff black before I go and put that in there. And are we happy with this hook, or do we want to remove it and put this? I think we're going to remove the hook. I think we can put something a little bit more aggressive. Let's see what we got here. Something like cattle pushers or something ramshackle, like it was put together with different kinds of metals. I was definitely going to use the iron. I call it iron bits, but it's not really. Ooh, what was that all about? What did we say this driver was going to be called? Instead of Cooter, Booger. Booger is going to be this driver. This driver is going to be Booger. Let's just cut this out. All right, and let's just remove that altogether. Now this should be able to fit in here. Damn near perfect. All right, we need to clean this up though. This is, for whatever reason, this casting was very crude. So this thing will be very, very rusty looking. Now, okay, I just need to expand that a little bit. And it should be able to slide in there, and probably not much. So let's just cut a little bit of that there. And a little bit of that there. Now let's see if this fits in here. Mira eso. Perfect. Perfect. It even has a little notch here. It even has a little notch that this piece sits in there. Look at that. Look at that, like fucking custom made. Unbelievable. Brilliant. Brilliant. This will go on the front. And the 30 cal will go over here. Excellent. Now, we're probably going to put armored plates on it and make it look a little bit more aggro. Oh man, I didn't buy freaking super glue at Walmart. Son of a bitch. Oh well. And I'm out of this stuff. Definitely need some gap filling on this thing. It's a bit Le Crude. And if this thing misbehaves, we'll just epoxy it on there. I'm actually going to go ahead and put a spot there where it rests. It can be attached to that as well. Okay. We're going to wait to put the machine gun here until we figure out what we're going to do on the side doors. I guess I had this back asswards, didn't I? There's lots of different ways you can put this thing in. I like it like... I like it where it's resting on this thing. You don't have to worry about it. I'm gonna... What if that means if it's a Ford? It's got a little oval there. It certainly isn't a fucking Subaru, that's for sure. Who else has an oval? Ford, Subaru, that's it. Yeah, I'm going to paint this separately. I want to put a little Ford logo on it. I know it's there. I like doing shit like that. All right, so we're going to put this like this because we're going to need to prime the back first. And we're going to prime this as well. And the machine gun might as well be primed as well. Let's close this little bit of this stuff we have. All right, let's look at some armor plates. I don't want to do the crosshatch netting on this one. We're going to give it like the real deal. Especially because we're out of those things. And we got some more in. As soon as I find where the hell they are. Let me make sure they're not on that other table. Never going to find them in this bag if they're not in the bag. Aha! They were on the other table. Good ram choice. Doesn't hang over, extend too wide. Looks more, you know. And I have a lot of, like, literally, I got all the rams and all these because the rams are a defining feature of the vehicles. And sometimes I color match them, and sometimes I don't. It just depends on how things work. These are all bits by Switchyard Studios and Creepy Hero Studios. Both of them do excellent work. Excellent work. I should, they're so good, I don't have a preference between them. That's a good problem. All right, let's see how this... A little too small. Okay. Let's see. It's an American vehicle. So we can have the driver's slot. That doesn't look half bad. We could just trim off the edges. And we got this corrugated looking thing. Well, I don't like using corrugated and then other things that aren't corrugated. So if we're going to go corrugated, it all needs to be corrugated. And this is vertically corrugated. So what about these side things? Oh, these are new. I didn't have these last time. These have little bolts on them. That's cool. Yeah, I'd have to trim the end off. We'll probably have a better fit than that. Oh, I love this one. You got like bars on one side and a little like vision slot. Yeah, these are actually by Switchyard, who's actually who I ordered from before. But I like them both. Okay, so if we put this thing on here, since this is a rather large window, we can basically go to the end here, take off a little bit there, glue that sucker down, and you've got the over the driver's compartment, over where the driver's vision is, and we're all set in that. I think that's pretty much set in stone. I'm gonna want to do that. That looks pretty good. That looks pretty darn good on there. So let's take something hard that I've not put paint on. So like one of these shims that I can cut against. And get an X-Acto knife. And I think we want this cheating more towards this side. So we're going to cut right here at the end of this one. And then we'll glue that down. And let's bend this a little bit so it'll go kind of with the curvature of this. And we'll use the slow super glue so we can adjust it a little bit if we need to. So avoid the area where that vision slot's going to be. And let's round this corner off ever so slightly. Now the sides, I might actually do the little netting on the side. I just didn't want it on the front. Where's that stuff at? The thick and the thin. Let's do the thick. The bigger opening. Shit, I could just use this piece right here. Well, shit. It may not be big enough, but I figured it was worth a shot. It's not big enough. It's taller than that. All right. We'll go over right there. Have to glue those little wheels shut. It's getting all uppity, wanting to move out of here. About right there. We're going to have to stop at 7 because I need to feed myself. Where was that break? It was right here. What do you use that for? I use a piece of real window screen. I have some some metal one. I just decided to buy this because the aluminum one, it already comes in the color that I want it to be in. However, it's a pain to trim because it almost like it falls, it like almost unravels. That's what I'd used before. And this stuff I thought was going to be a little too thick. I honestly don't like using super glue. I kind of have to, but I'm not a fan. All right, we're going to take that little edge off. I am not a fan of super glue. It's just one of those things that you kind of have to do. Because it's just too damn big. Like your fingers are too, it's like King Kong working on a friggin' art project kind of thing. I think that looks good like that. Now we just need to make another double of it. Let's make sure it fits on this side. Some anomaly or something like that where it doesn't work on one side. Nope, that's about right. We need another one of these. Yeah, I got the metal one because I like the color of it, and it ended up being like the wrong move. I mean, obviously it wasn't like it was a big deal. It's not like, oh man, you committed a cardinal sin. I'm like, no, it just the other one's probably a pain to glue with. I don't know. We'll figure it out. But I was going to order these bits anyways. I figured, let's try this screen, see if it's worth a damn. I got 2 thicknesses. So I'm pretty happy with it. I only had screen originally on one vehicle. And, uh-oh, this thing shift on me. Just looked like it. Might have shifted a little bit. We're still good. Okay. This is all put together by amateurs. All right, this is the one on that side. No, this is the remainder that I said didn't work. We'll cut this end off. So it looks consistent. And then I'm going to cut across this. And there we have it. Now, how is that? Is that going to interfere with a 30? No. Okay. So we're going to go ahead. Let's put this over here so we don't transfer that somewhere else. Put some of that honey. And I have a toothpick around here somewhere, or the end of this will work. And we'll pick some spots on here that we know that it's going to touch. Okay, and then this side we'll do the same. And then this 30 cal will sit down here. Like so. I'm gonna go. What happened here? Are we shifting? Can't get all cocky with it just yet. I'm gonna go ahead and glue it now. I'm just gonna glue it right now. And then we'll use that extra thin in the morning and dribble it down so it'll get in there and tie everything together a little bit better. And actually, I'm going to go ahead and put this on the front too. I can reach those spots. I prefer to assemble things anyways, and then paint them, not do like little sub-assemblies of shit. And I hate this time change. You look out there and it's like, oh, it's like 11 o'clock at night. Not even 7. Not even 7. Yeah, what we'll do is we'll do that extra thin and we'll dribble it from the bottom. So that's what this little guy is going to look like. I don't know what the hell it's named yet. We'll figure that out before we paint it any further. But it's definitely going to be a redneck vehicle. Not that there's anything wrong with that. But like I've said before, all the people on all these teams, they're all criminals. So these are all country convicts. The urban guys are a bunch of urban convicts. The Mexican lowriders are all bad people. The Cruel Britannia are folks that should have they missed the boat to go to Australia. Everybody's bad. And the one thing I'm not a huge fan of is switching out the tires. Because then what do I do with these tires? And then, I'd want bigger tires, but then it doesn't fit in the wheel well, and I cut the wheel. I'm not doing all that. Like, I want bigger tires, I get a vehicle with bigger tires on it. Okay, so this little contraption, whatever it is, almost looks like a little pig or something like that. Maybe we'll have to work that into the name. All right, folks, that's where we're going to stop for tonight. Thanks for coming by. We'll catch you on later on this week. All right, folks. Bye-bye.